Back in 2003, Warren Buffett had a genius idea that could have stopped the big tariff hikes made by the US this year. It was simple, it was fair, and it could have saved you and all of us a load of money. So let's get into why this idea is so great and can completely get rid of our entire trade imbalance. Warren Buffett warned the US long ago, back in 2003, about what tariffs would do to the market and everyday Americans. Now, prices are rising because of Trump's tariffs, but Buffett's forgotten idea could fix everything. Let's get into how it would do that and completely eliminate the trade deficit that we have. So, what's Buffett's idea? Guys, actually makes a lot of sense. Here's his idea. Instead of having tariffs, whenever a company in the US exports to another country, they get a credit, some sort of importing credit. Okay, let's say they export $10. They get a $10 exact credit. That $10 exact credit, they can then go sell on the market to some other country, let's say country B, and some company in there that they have to buy in order to import that same amount of goods. So automatically, if they buy it, guess what happens? It's an automatic trade even. Because we exported 10, somebody's buying a $10 trade credit, boom, it's all even. This is the big key here. It never allows for deficits. It sits there and says, okay, you already know what your tax is going to be. It's going to be dollar for dollar. Everything's going to come in. Now, are there benefits to this? Of course. You look at this, but there will be an imbalance. Look at a country like China. For a long time, and still today, they still make products a lot cheaper than we do. This trade credit will be based on our costs, not China's costs. So no matter what China's building for, they're going to have to pay basically some sort of credit that's based initially on our cost to manufacture. But the key here is there will always be at least a trade break even. There will be no deficit, because in order for some company in another country to import here, they've got to go and buy the credits from some other company in the US that already exported abroad. There will always be a break even on the trade credit. So first off, guys, let's understand what GDP is. GDP is essentially how much a company makes. It's made of consumer spending, investment into capitals and everything like that, government spending, and then exports minus imports. Now, it's adding exports minus imports. If we export $10 and we import $5, we're subtracting $5 from GDP. So when we import way more than we export, we're hurting our GDP. And that trade deficit is something that causes a lot of problems for a lot of people. Now, why are trade deficits bad? There's a lot of theories why they're bad. One of which is, if we sit here and we have an economy that relies on other people, it makes those other countries stronger. It makes them realize that they have a little bit of an upper hand. But also economically, if we rely on other countries, they can basically control the way in which our currency and debt is viewed. So when the trade deficit is large, GDP is decreasing. When GDP is decreasing, the US is making less money. When the US is making less money, but expenses are going up, what happens to debt? Our nation's debt will keep increasing. It also makes us rely on other countries, their capital, and makes us weaker from that perspective. And of course, the biggest one which is surprising to me, the far left has been saying for decades is, when we lose jobs here, when we have a higher trade deficit, we're buying more from international countries, and therefore our jobs here are being lost. But guys, these jobs aren't lost forever. Let me show you why. These are the number of employees in manufacturing in this country. Now, in 1980, it peaked around 19 million employees. Now, you might sit there and say, okay, it's only down to 13 million now. Yeah, but how many more people are in this country now than there were in 1980? We had 226 million people in this country back then. We now have 340 million. So the population has gone up 40%, and the amount of workers in manufacturing has dropped. So the percentage of workers in this country that work in manufacturing is way lower. But we still have 4% unemployment. We still have people. Guess what? When the car was invented, everyone who worked on the locomotives or in the stagecoach didn't lose their jobs forever. This is just the way in which, same thing with AI. When I hear people say AI will eliminate jobs, yeah, but we'll adapt. We'll find other jobs to do. 200 years ago, everyone worked in agriculture. And then all of a sudden manufacturing, we had industrial revolution. Did people sit there and say, oh, agriculture is dead? I mean, it's a lot smaller than it should be, but people today in agriculture are making way more money than in past decades. So to recap again, really quick, so you understand, if the US and all its companies export $1 billion this month to another country, to the world, the only thing that's allowed is another company overseas or a group of companies can only import $1 billion worth because they're only able to buy $1 billion worth of credits. That's the big key there. So, question would be asked, is it superior to tariffs? Well, the reason I like it is it doesn't pick on a certain industry. You know, nowadays you have all these battles. Like years ago, we had the tires from China and rubber and all these things. It was just like, oh, this is exhausting. Every single industry had different things. Listen, this is just, hey, this is the amount you have to pay. I don't care what you're importing. As whatever you're bringing to us, you got to pay this amount. That's it. I think that's far superior to tariffs. It gives less power to people in Congress that will be more and more likely to be lobbied by certain industries for lower tariffs. It eliminates all of that corruption. I shouldn't say eliminates, but it greatly reduces all of that corruption. And the other thing is, guys, it eliminates all blowback. All these tariff wars and potential wars in general will be eliminated because now it's just, hey, company overseas, do you want to import? Yes, go buy the credits. Well, we don't want to, makes it too expensive. Okay, then just don't do it. It actually protects American jobs because now it really makes sure that companies abroad are able to import low-cost goods that are really obviously low cost for American consumers. So, why did Trump pick tariffs as his solution? Again, there's a theory that he wants to cause a recession on purpose to lower interest rates. That way, the big amounts of government debt that are coming due will be refinanced and he can still rebound during this term. Is it true? I don't know. But tariffs are very easy because look how fast he did it. They can be done like that. The other thing is, the average American worker who has a manufacturing job, unfortunately, looks at the world and says, if I lose my job, it's because of you. Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I understand the feeling there. So Trump picking the tariffs is a very simple way. I mean, look at it. Throughout the day, he'd be like, yeah, we're giving you 100%. No, we're giving you 125. Nope, 150% tariff. It was just willy-nilly go like crazy. Now, remember, this trade war recently, I hear people saying, man, these trade wars are causing my stocks to fall and the market to be so volatile. Guys, I don't agree with that. I think the real issue is valuation. We have thousands of things that happen in this world, in this country, every single year. And we've said this before. In a room filled with gasoline, if you have a fire in the corner, we don't know what spark will cause the explosion, but what we do know is there will be a spark that causes the explosion. And the trade war was that spark currently. And we said in past videos, months, years ago, we don't know what this is going to be. It's probably something we don't even see. Did anybody see these trade wars even 7 or 8 months ago? No one saw this. We are principle-driven investors. We don't care what's happening in the short run. In fact, one of our principles, the fourth principle, is in the short run, the stocks are a voting machine. In the long run, they are a weighing machine. And let me show you what I mean by that. Guys, this is the S&P 500 going back to 1950. What do we have, like 20 events here? These are 20 big events that happened. First off, there are probably 20 billion events that happened that affected the stock market in this time. But look, over time, look what happens. And the other thing I want to point out is, if I were to tell you to pick 4 or 5 times that you wish you'd bought, guess what it would be? Fear, 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 fear. All these times, fear. That's very, very important. In order to get great deals on companies, in order to go back in time and look at the past and say, look at that market crash, what an opportunity. Even if you didn't experience it, and even if you did experience it, you probably don't remember how it felt inside. But if you didn't experience it, you don't know that people were scared. What's going to happen? The early 80s, where valuations hit its lowest level ever. Valuations were so low, it'd be the equivalent of us buying the S&P today for 900. It's currently at 5,500. It'd be the equivalent of the S&P being at 900 today. How much money would you make buying the S&P if it was at 900 today with the companies making what they're making today? But the fear back then was interest rates are 15%. Inflation was insane. These things were real. The oil crisis that just happened a few years before, these were real fears that everyone had. Now, I touched on our principle-driven investing. It's a very important way of thinking. There are 5 tenets to it. If you have any interest in understanding it, I really encourage you to download our PDF. And the reason being is these are principles that are great for any sort of investing. It doesn't matter if it's stocks, real estate, bonds, whatever you're buying. It'll help you really get an understanding of what's going to drive the future. If you really accept what this principle-driven ideas are, you're going to do very, very well. It takes time, but the better time to start is right now. So click the link below, and I will email you the PDF immediately upon you entering your email. Guys, another thing I want you guys to know about, tomorrow we have a live stream. called the Retirement Accelerator. It's a way of doubling or tripling the money you have in retirement. That's all I'm going to say right now, because it's absolutely something that every investor can do. I'll be hosting a live class on YouTube. I'll teach you how to use options as a way of doubling or tripling the money you have in investing, and not speculative options, an investing approach to options, step by step, using real life examples. We're also going to be doing the biggest giveaway I've ever done during the live, and I'll be launching something I've been working on for a long time. So it's packed with everything you need, all the excitement. Click the link in the description below for more information. Now, guys, I want everybody to remember, this is a very unique take on things. A strong China will make the US stronger. A strong world will make the US stronger. We have a pie, and that pie right now in the world is this big. And we occupy, let's say, half. I don't think it's half, but let's say we have half the GDP. If the pie gets this big, but we only control a quarter, guess what? Our piece of the pie has still gotten bigger, even though we're only a quarter of the world. But there's so many people out there who are so afraid of seeing the US going from hypothetically 50% of the world to 25%. No, we want this because it means the world got better. It means the world out there is buying more stuff, buying more services. It's giving people in the US opportunities to invest in other parts of the world and making a lot of money. Let's not have this approach that us good, everyone else bad. It is not true. Guys, come check out what Buffett has to say right here. This whole trade idea shows you just how strategic Buffett is when the world gets unpredictable. Whenever I want to see what somebody believes, I look at what they do, not what they say. And Buffett's been selling stock and stacking cash for that exact reason. So click on the video on the screen right now, because when I see what Buffett does, not what he says, it tells me what he truly believes about the market today. And we've only experienced a small piece of that so far this year, and it could get bigger. Thank you for your time.